Penn State might have screwed themselves. So as we all know, back in October, Penn State made the decision to fire James Franklin. And at the time, I thought it was a terrible decision. I thought it was very irrational. I thought it was very abrupt. And I didn't think that it had a lot of thought behind it. Like, yeah, it sounds good to say, oh, he underperformed this year. He underachieved. He hasn't won the big game. You know, we have to get rid of him. We have to get better. The only problem is, he was still a good coach regardless of that. Like, I think it's fair to say he was at minimum a top 15 coach. So if we're being real here, there were only about 14 coaches that you could have gotten that were better. And Penn State has managed to strike out on every single one of them. There were early reports that they were trying to get Urban Meyer or Nick Saban or poach Kurt Signetti or Kalen DeBoer, and those fell apart. And then some of like the second tier coaches that they were looking at, those fell apart too. So now they're in a situation where I can't even say what I want to say, but they're sitting there on their hands and they don't really have any plan, it looks like. Well, actually, no. Their plan was to poach Kalani Sitake from BYU. Now, he's definitely a good coach. He's had some really good teams at BYU. The issue is he is a Mormon and he coaches at BYU. Yeah, that's like trying to get a fat kid from a candy store. It's not happening. And that leaves Penn State one day before signing day with no head coach. The other problem is James Franklin, he's an elite recruiter. A lot of those guys committed to Penn State for him. So what ended up happening? Well, there were a bunch of Penn State flips to Virginia Tech. And as a result, Virginia Tech, they're up to 35th in the recruiting rankings, while Penn State has fallen to 130th. So as I said at the time, the move to fire James Franklin, that was a you're not good enough for us. But yeah, I think it was a serious miscalculation in just how good Penn State actually is.